On my list, it's league play and then in parentheses sigh.
I agree.
So let's point out some of the most obnoxious issues, and then we're actually going to do something unheard of in the Call of Duty community. We're going to offer constructive feedback on how we think we could fix some of the problems.
Constructive criticism.
Or better yet, let's not even mention some of the issues, because a lot of the issues have actually been fixed, but there's still a lot to go. Or there are three of us. Let's each give 3 pieces of feedback on what we think, how this should be, on what we think needs fixed and how we might go about it, and then just go from there. And we all have to pick 3 different things to talk about. So we'll go, you can go all 3 at one time or one at a time. I'll let you guys decide on that one.
What do you mean all 3 at a time?
We're each going to give 3 pieces of feedback. Do you want to go all 3 pieces at one time, or do you each want to go one at a time?
We could do one at a time.
All right, so starting just at the top of the call again, Tej, you're up. Give me one criticism, and then offer a solution on how to fix it for a league play.
The ranking system, like not just like the master, elite, all that, the actual division or whatever, when you have to win to get rank up or whatever the hell.
Yeah, ladder.
The ladder. Because all that does is benefit people that get to play constantly. Like me, I play 4 days a week.
Here comes TJ flexing. I have a full-time job.
Well, I mean, realistically, I have a full-time job. I'm better than people that are in my ladder, and yet I'm still taking fucking 50th place because I only can fucking play for.
I actually like what you're saying isn't true, but I looked into it, and it kind of just makes sense this way. The ladder system for league play in BO4 and Cold War is absolute trash as a skill-based system, but as a business model, it is basically perfect. Because if there's a basic elo system like every other game that we like, talking about like World War II, Overwatch, Rocket League, if you take a week off from that game, you're still going to be the same rank you were a week ago. If you stop playing the ladder play system in this game, well, first of all, if you go a week without playing, you've already missed 2 seasons.
Right.
And then also if you take like 3 hours off, if you like whenever I get off stream and then I come back and play later, like in the morning, like at 3 a.m. because I have nothing else to do, the people that were at the bottom of my leaderboard have now skyrocketed to like 7,000 points above me. The league play ladder system is like designed to trick you in to keep playing because you just want there's a set period of time and you feel a sense of urgency to keep playing. But the criticism is valid. I know, wow. Activision having scummy business tactics.
I did not think about it like that until you just said it. And that is the perfect way to put it in there.
A lot of people don't think of it like that. That's why I'm the one in charge. I am the business boy. But TJ said the rank ladder system. I agree with that. Let's move on to me. I'm the next one. Wow, my opinion. Can we please fix like the RNG for map picks and map game modes? Like, I don't really feel like there's a lot of constructive ways I can say to fix that. Just change change the percentages that I don't have to play Control Garrison 7 times in a row.
I'm gonna get close to my mic real quick, if you'll excuse me. Put map voting in.
That would be a way to fix it, but I feel like if they're going to keep it the way they're going to keep it, just change the percentages. Why am I playing Control, which is played the least out of any of the game modes and maps? Why am I playing that 70% of the time?
Theoretically, they could literally put 1 hardpoint map, 1 S&D, and 1 Control, and let all 8 players vote on which map they wanted to play. And if it ended up in a tie between 2, make them play the 3rd map.
No.
I mean, that's how World War II works.
Be random. So, like, if it's tied, then randomize which pick gets picked.
That's exactly how World War II worked.
I mean, that'd be fine too.
Which, it's crazy how we keep saying that everything we're criticizing World War II did, but yet World War II is viewed as one of the worst games ever made. It doesn't make sense.
I'm just saying this real quick. With a map voting system, Miami S&D will never get picked once. So with that being said, until it happens, I'm just going to simply Alt F4 every single time I see Miami S&D loading up.
I mean, you can keep talking because it is your pick. Point out a problem and offer a solution.
Oh. Oof. Please take out Lawbreaker
Or
as
at
an
least
overkill.
put
No,
in the fixed version of it.
no, take Lawbreaker out, period. And here's why. Because there's this thing called perk greed where it'll let you pick 2 perks out of each system. So if Lawbreaker is gone, which allows you to pick 2 3 perks, and then you can pick from whichever slot, right? The only reason why people use Lawbreaker is because of overkill, and that is it only. Take out Lawbreaker. Period. No overkill whatsoever.
So there's not really a solution for that one because that one's pretty straightforward. There's already another perk in the game that's already in existence. So
yeah, there's another wild card which allows you to choose multiple perks for each selection. Now the only difference is that with Lawbreaker you can pick 3 in one category. And why would you do that? You want to have at least tack or flak when it comes to a competitive game, and then you want ninja. You might as well just run perk read at that point. That way you get more perks.
EJ is muted, which means there's a lot of background noise. Give me a yay or nay if you can say your next thought, Tej.
Go ahead, Tuck.
Okay, I'll go. So back to me for my criticism and ways to fix it, or my ideas on how to fix it. Ooh, there's just so many annoying things. I guess my biggest thing would be just get rid of the weapons that are objectively already like agreed not to be used. Like, I don't care if someone uses the KSP, it's annoying, but I care if someone uses the AK because the AK-47 is objectively broken.
Mm-hmm.
The sniper rifles are objectively broken, especially with smokes being objectively broken because you're not supposed to be able to see through smoke grenades, but that happens. So I guess my biggest thing would just take things that are G8 out of the current rule set until they're either A, fixed, or something else happens.
So you're basically saying anything that's GA'd by pros who play this game as a job, who know more about the game.
Yes.
I'm telling them to take it out. I like that.
Especially considering I thought that's what was going to happen with the preset classes, because the last time we recorded a podcast, the preset classes, to my knowledge, were going to be the only thing in the game that people could use.
Which would have fixed a lot of things. A lot of these issues that we're talking about right now, it would have been fixed. The smokes, the
snipers, the AKs.
Snipers, yeah. Like, all of that would have been fixed.
So, unless we're going to completely change how the game works in a month, I would just add to the rule set to restrict all the gentleman's agreed items. I don't care if Timmy uses a KSP. I care if Timmy uses an AK, because Timmy is going to get kills he doesn't deserve with that AK.
I mean, I get one by the KSP, so there's that.
What was that?
I get one bursted by the KSP, so I mean,
they actually nerfed the KSP, so it's a little less annoying, but it still has the capability to one burst if they hit a headshot.
Because me and Zoe got fried by the KSP that one round.
Yeah. Red on Moscow is just sitting in a corner. He's like, oh, there's a free kill. Oh, there's another free kill.
Right.
Alright, so let's go back to Tej. What is your next thing on how to fix?
I like the idea of moving P4 on Crossroads.
I think everyone does.
Moving it to the pawn, or AS&D. I think that would help a lot.
It's such a weird thing because it kind of falls into the same issue, not issue, but like same thing with like Slum's hardpoint, where P3 and 4 were right beside each other, and whoever held that inside of the map basically controlled the entire game would probably win the game. But it's so much more obnoxious in this game.
Because I mean, there's only one realistic way you can get to that P4, and that's on the street. And then you have 3 guns already aiming at you.
I mean, what are your other options to get spawns? You have to flood across Top Cat. You can pre-aim the cat door from spawn, so that's off the table. You can try to flank up and behind, up the cliff and behind the rock, but you're not guaranteed spawns at that point if only one person makes it through.
and mantling's loud as shit, so they're gonna hear you.
Which is another complaint I might come back to, is if I have Ninja on, please make my character not scream when they mantle.
Ah! Like, okay, I totally heard that. You're over here now.
I like that. The thing about Ninja, I like that you can at least hear people when they slide, because that changes their movement a lot.
It does.
I
It
wish it was a little bit quieter. I feel like it's a little too loud, but I do like that you can hear it.
I mean, I just like that it kind of nerfs crackheads that were all slide canceling last year. My biggest issue with Ninja is that you can hear when people climb. Or at least they scream when you climb.
Right.
But it's Zoe's pick.
My pick would be to remove, and hear me out, remove Crossroads as a hard point completely, Miami as an S&D completely, and replace those two with Express Hardpoint and Express S&D.
I don't know how I'd feel about the hard point, but the S&D I agree with.
Playing Express Hardpoint in pubs, they are ridiculous spawn traps. I don't think he would play very well for Hardpoint, but S&D probably.
I mean, I like Crossroads hardpoint because there's a lot going on at once. I just don't like the situation.
I just hate how people spawn behind me every 20 seconds. If that didn't happen, I'd feel better.
Here's this. You notice how that every single map, there's a utilization when it comes to hardpoint about major hills, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So let's take a look at Moscow. Moscow hits both back end spawns, and then hits mid, and then hits. Moscow only has 4 hills, correct?
Middle PD Library Road, yeah.
Yeah. So you notice how it utilizes different parts of the map for hills, right? Same thing with Garrison. Boom. You have P1, then you have. But Garrison is a smaller map than Moscow and has 5 hills.
There's more shit around it, though.
Yeah. So I mean, they're utilizing the map properly. Right. Crossroads is 90%. Well, not 90 because there's 4 hills. 75% of the game is played on the top right side of the map. There's only one time where the map is contested on the whole ice area, and that's only P2.
Right.
And that's it. If you are playing Crossroads, you never in a million years want to spawn green crates. You never want to spawn there. Why? Because every single major hill, quote unquote major hill, is on one side of the map.
See, and I think that's what they're going to fix if they end up moving P4 like they're talking about.
They're not going to. I mean, when they first moved P4, right? Because it used to be back rock, and that was a spawn point.
Right.
Yeah, that was great.
And now they moved it 2 feet next to rock, where there's still a spawn point.
See, I almost think if they was to move it to like the other side, like right above P2 on that catwalk room, I feel like that wouldn't be a bad spot. It's a small hill, and there's 4 different ways people can come.
I'd rather play Nuketown at this point than Crossroads Hardpoint. At least Nuketown, it hits every single side of the map. Crossroads only hits one part of the map, and that's it. That's the only problem I have with Crossroads. Here's how I would make the hills personally. Right? P1 is fine where it is. P2 is fine where it is. You can make P3, where P4 is now, move it a little bit more so that it's kind of in the middle between rock and wherever it is, and then make P4 ice.
That's what they're talking about doing. I mean, besides moving P3, but it's essentially what I think a dev posted on Reddit or something about it. about doing that.
You like ice is only valid in 25% of the game when you're locking down P2, and that's it.
Okay, so
Then
I know that was long. I know that was long, but
no, that's fine.
It's not the maps, it's the way the maps are being played.
Right. The way that the objectives are set up on the map.
Yeah.
All right, so
that's my issue with Crossroads.
Your issue is
and then Miami
Crossroads.
S&D is horrid. Don't get me started with Miami S&D. We were only talking about Crossroads Hardpoint. I have nothing good to say about Miami S&D.
I think the B side is really well designed. That's about it.
A side is fine. A side,
the entire middle of the map shit, and then beach is all right.
I think beach is the problem.
if snipers were in GA, sure.
Well, yeah,
I mean, if snipers were banned, sure, I'd love playing on Miami every single time. But A site I would love going to A site, but because snipers are still in the game and they're still broken, I am scared shitless to go next to beach. Right. I don't want to go anywhere near there.
All right, so go back to Tej for his last criticism and solution.
Give me a fucking elo.
We already talked about that.
We already talked about this.
That was also your point.
I know. I still want to fucking say it.
All right.
I feel like we already covered most, like, vast majority of it.
There's still one more thing I want to say. So,
I think I have mine too.
Quit giving me shitter fucking teammates. Like I should be able to solo queue and play with people around my fucking rank, and not get decimated by an entire fucking 4-man while I got fucking Timmy 1, 2, and 3 on my fucking team, not even knowing how to rotate.
In a game where they tell you where the rotations go.
Yeah. 10 seconds early, it tells you, hey, the hard point's going to be over here, but yet I still got Timmy No Thumbs over here fucking holding his cock at fucking P2.
All right, to save TJ from an aneurysm, we're going to stop his criticism there. TJ wants a better actual skill-based matchmaking implemented. That's fair.
Which they have that in pubs. That's what blows my mind.
To be fair, my teammates in pubs do the same shit, so the skill-based matchmaking really only affects the enemy team is what I've came to notice.
It makes no fucking sense.
My final criticism, this one's more of a tinfoil hat one. I don't think the servers are playing under 60, and I would like that to be a thing, if not higher, because, competitive playlist. The amount of times I get shot around corners in League play just leads me to believe that it's not a 60 Hz server.
I can see that.
We're playing on PC. I'd like this to be at least over 60.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, casual matches on CSGO are 64 Hz.
We are in the year 2021, and the league has changed to PC.
Hold on, side note before we go into more on this, Activision $1.7 billion generated last year, by the way. Go on.
It doesn't matter.
No,
how much money they make.
The money matters. They can afford it, is my point.
Exactly. But there's companies that aren't making billions, right? Let's say per se there's this game, I don't know, Rocket League?
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it? That's free to play now, right?
All I play is COD, so this is boring.
Right? Or a game, here's another game, Valorant, that's also free.
Let's throw League of Legends into that too.
League of Legends, you could play on a single core processor.
Yeah, but it's servers still higher.
And still play at a higher tick rate.
It is definitely wacky.
You could play League of Legends on a McDonald's cash register and still get a higher server tick rate than you would on COD playing on a $2,000 PC.
Because I want to throw this out there before we move on. Slide canceling is annoying, but at the same time, I don't necessarily mind the slide canceling because it's an added skill gap like the BXR in Halo 2. It's an added skill gap that you actually have to take time to get good at, and I don't necessarily mind that. but at the same time, slide canceling gets amplified whenever I'm playing on servers less than 60 because I'm literally dead before I see the enemy. Like, I showed Zoe the one clip of me when TJ and I and the rest of the guys were playing S&D on Checkmate, and that guy shot me around pallets, and I never fucking saw him. That is how I think we're playing on the same servers as Game Battles, which is 20 hertz. But that is my point. I would up the tick rate because I'm just not convinced it's not higher than basic public or private matches. So, what is your final criticism, though?
My final critique is rank punishment. Now, I know what you're thinking. They've already added that. No.
Joke's on you. I like being punished.
If it is a 3v4, right? Because the servers are ass and one of your teammates gets kicked, right? If it is a 3v4 situation, either A, you play the map out, and no matter the outcome, if you win, you deserve to get the points. But if you lose, you don't deserve to get your ladder points deducted. And the other team, if they win, they can get their ladder points. But you in a 3v4 should not be punished for it being a 3v4. That's the first thing. The second thing is if someone leaves the game, they should get not only a sort of like matchmaking penalty, but on top of that, they should lose up to 150 to like 200 ladder points.
Don't they have it at like 61 right now?
No, they have it at 111.
If you're the first person to leave, you lose 111. After that, it gets reduced for everyone else that leaves to 60.
Which doesn't make any sense.
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's Counter-Strike that does it. If you're one of those people that just continuously leaves matches and plays like a complete toxic dickhead, over time, the algorithm for CSGO matchmaking will start to put you with other dickheads like that. And then they're kind of just sent off to the Shadow Realm, the land of scum and degenerates. I think that's Counter-Strike that does that. Zoe probably wouldn't know, because Zoe doesn't leave matches on Counter-Strike every time, I'm sure.
No, I play them out, which is funny, because if a person leaves the match, they get replaced with a bot, and you can take control of that bot if you die in CSGO. Any player on your team can take control of that bot if they're dead on CSGO.
That recently changed, though.
No.
3 Clicks Philip made a video on it.
Did it recently change? Because I haven't played CSGO in a couple months. But I remember that's how it was.
I know that's how it was. I think 3 Clicks Philip made a video on that like a month ago. We can fact check that after. But I think that may have changed, but still, it's... TLDR, CSGO does a better job of dealing with that than everyone else. Because, like, I don't mind that. If they're going to be assholes, put them with the other assholes. I'll never have to play with them again.